Hello there, I am Jamin Hatton. Today is July 5, 2021, and the day before CSEC English A. This video aims to give you a quick tour of the Section B of the English A exam, and I'm going to talk a little bit about report writing. So let's go on to talking about the Section B. So Section B is what we call the exposition. This is where you're generally going to be given information and you have to present that information. So you are required to basically give info. Give info. That's what you have to do. So how are you giving this info? You can give this info in the form of a letter or an email. You can be given the info in the form of a report. This report can be an incident report or it can be a statistical report. I have videos so far on the channel on letter and email writing and statistical report writing. Then you have to, basically, you might be asked to do a memo. The memo is the same format, basically, of the report, and you should treat it that way. What else can come under this category? Nothing else coming to me at the moment. If I remember anything else, I can tell you. But I have videos on most of this here on the channel already, right? So in that section B, the purpose again is for you to give information. When you're giving information, you have to remember these. When, what, where, how. What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? How it happened? Those are the questions you have to answer when you are giving this information. So let's talk a little bit now about the report writing. Now in the report, you are expected to do a few things that you want to basically have correct to ensure you go on to get the best possible marks. One of those things is to format your report correctly. Now the main thing at the top of your report should be your date. So we put our date there, colon, to write that out. Write your date out in full. After your date, you go on to write to whom you're writing this report, from who is it coming from. And then you put your subject. Some persons will put RE here, as in report reference. You go ahead and do that. Whatever you put here is a brief idea of what the report is about. Let's say you're writing a report on an accident you have witnessed. Report, or subject, accident witnessed on January 5th, 2021. Some brief information there on the purpose of this report. Then you go ahead and write. Some teachers might teach it differently. This is the format I like to use. When you go ahead and do this, first paragraph, you have a brief introduction. I, whatever your name is, hereby detail the events that took place on the accident on January 5th, 2021. I like to put an introduction because everything you write should have an introduction. Then you go ahead and write your body. Your body will give all the information that's necessary. CXU will give you that at the bottom of your writing, right? When you're finished with your report, all you're doing here is signing. Let's say my name is John Doe. That is my signature. After you have signed that, you will now write that out. John Doe. And who is John Doe? Let's say John Doe was the witness to this accident. Write the word witness. Let's say you are the class prefect. You're commenting on something that happened in the class. Then you will go ahead and write class prefect. So your designation goes at the bottom there. Is that clear? So who are we writing this report to? Let's say you had to write a report to the insurance manager. Let's say the insurance manager was James Bond. James Bond. Insurance manager. All right. Who is it coming from? John Doe, who was the witness. John Doe. So that is your format of your report that I teach my students. If your teacher teaches you something different, you by all means go ahead and use that. Now let's talk about now the notice, the format for the notice. Now the notice is quite similar. The first thing you have to write, I always tell the students, put the date. Put the date. If your teacher you something else, you go ahead and use what your teacher told you. Then you write the word notice. You actually have to write the word notice, and it must be written in all caps. Notice. If you're asked to write a memo, you will juxtapose the word memo here. Well, not juxtapose. You will put the word memo there instead. So instead of writing out the word notice, you will write the word memo here. All right? Oh, one bit. Let's erase this. Let's start over. So instead of putting the date at the start, what you will put there is where the notice is coming from. What entity is it coming from? What organization? So let's say I'm writing it from a school. So I will put here the school's name. Let's say the school is Chase's Academic Foundation. If you're looking for a school for affordable quality education in Georgetown, Guyana, you want to check out Chase's Academic Foundation. So Chase's Academic Foundation would be the entity to which the notice is coming from. Then you actually put the word notice, like I explained to you. If it's a memo, you will put that word memo there instead. Then you put the date, right? So just make a note of that change. Then you write your date out, and then you put the subject, your subject of your memo, right? Your subject of your notice. You have to put a subject. Again, it just gives a nice formality to what you're writing. Let's say the subject is the closure of school and the uplifting of school report cards. Put that there. Report cards and closure of schools. That would be your report, your subject. Then you go on to put the notice, put the information there. If there's anything that can be listed in your notice, go ahead and actually list them one after the other. And at the bottom of your notice, you are not writing yours faithfully or yours sincerely like what other students would do. You are doing the same thing that you did for the report writing, which is to sign, then write what your name is, James Doe. And then when you put James Doe, you will say the designation of this individual. Is this the principal? You put principal there. Let's say this notice is coming from the student body. You put the name of the student body at the top here, then put the actual notice, the date of the notice, the subject of this notice. Write the notice, write the information, and you go ahead and end with perhaps the word president instead. Right? But don't write yours faithfully and yours sincerely. Those are qualities of the letter or the email. Right? Good. I hope that was helpful to you. All the best.